how to set up your inlay tool. Now when you get this out of the box, you're going to have a couple of pieces. Now you're going to notice your inlay base, if you try to put this in this way, is not going to fit. So what you need to do, you take this off. So you take this off and you're actually going to bring this up from the bottom. This knob will lock you onto the quill. We can put this back in. And now we can do all of the plumbing. Now I'm just putting this together to make it easier to work. Air capacity. You want to have a decent sized air compressor. Just a little pancake thing probably will not work. We're talking 90 pounds per square inch at 0.9 cubic feet per minute. Always the bigger the better, but you may not always have that option. So you want to make sure you at least match what you need, because these things do use a lot of air. So we put this together. You'll tighten this up with your wrench. This is your exhaust tube. The air comes through here. That will have a connection to go into the air compressor. The air exhausts out the top here. Now you might be thinking, I'll take the exhaust tube and I can use that as a blowing the dust away. With these tools, it's not necessary. They spin so fast, they create enough turbulence that they actually are self-clearing. What you will want to do is on the exhaust end, because they do make a lot of noise, you take a paper towel, and you can see I folded it up, and then I tape it onto the end of the tube, and that will capture oil. Also it works like a little muffler, water, and it does help to make it a little bit quieter, because these things do scream. And I will mention that it might be a good idea to use ear protection. As far as dust removal, OSHA rates pearl as a nuisance hazard. However, always err in the side of safety. So that is how to set up the air tool unit into this. These you will adjust high and low. You can put your cutter into here. Now a cutter, I use a number of different cutters. I use most of the time 1/32 bit. I will have these on the website very soon. The 20 thousandths bit is something that I will use for fine detail work, and then my one of choice is the 1/32, which is this one, and I find that does pretty much everything I need it to do except for a little bit of detailing. These are solid carbide, and these are upcuts. I'm not a fan of a downward spiral bit because, for number one, it pushes the work down in, or the chips into your work, and you want to evacuate the chips if you can. A downward spiral would be fine for a cleared hole, but not a closed hole. If you have a Dremel tool, the Dremel tool is going to work basically the same way. Only thing is, you're going to spin this on, and you could do this right on the base, and there we go. And then that will mount onto there. Now I do use the Dremel tool in conjunction when I'm cutting pearl, more for doing some finish work and sanding off the edges, which you'll see shortly. So thanks for buying one of my inlay tools. Now you know how to set it up. Keep the bit sharp. On the air tool, every day that you use it, put a drop or two of some type of air tool oil in it. On your air compressor, you do want to use a oil water separator filter. I have them on my main compressor, and that way on a humid day you aren't blowing water through the unit. If that does happen to you, as soon as it happens, get WD-40. Put a liberal amount in here. Hold it upside down so that you get the WD-40 down into your unit. Allow your compressor to cool down and then blow it through and then re-oil it, because if you do not, all you got to do is put one little roller in that bearing in there and you will just close this thing up and ruin it. So remember, if the water comes through it, and you'll know it, it'll just all of a sudden sound extremely weird, get the water out of it, get WD-40 in there, and then re-oil the tool, and you should be fine. I've actually tried to destroy these things, and it takes a lot to destroy them, so if you take just a reasonable amount of care, they'll last forever.